All right, hello and welcome back, everyone. This is David with Fairmare's Rangers, and I'm coming at you with another 4v4 battle. This time, we're going to be on the Siberian Plateau, and we're going to be squaring off with the Plains Nations, the Cherokee, versus Great Britain in this next match of our Nation versus Nation tournament in Season 1, Week 1 of this here tournament. So both teams coming in with a 0-0 record, obviously, because they've not played anybody yet. And yeah, we're just getting this thing kicked off. But once again, this is a multiplayer tournament, 4 versus 4. If you are interested in being involved in some of these games, please let me know. And you can also find me on Steam and then let me know on there through message. Just send me a friend invite, and then I can let you know when approximately the next battle will be taking place. Now, I do want you to keep in mind that some of the battles are going to take place in a roundabout time period because I am going into the busy season of my work schedule, and I do have to work that schedule around this. Now, in these first several battles, I am participating in these battles, but I do want to get to a point where I have someone else host the battles and I just spectate and cover the battle from a spectator's point of view. But for right now, I am partaking of the battle, and yeah, that's all well and good. And yeah, so that's kind of where things are. And at some point, I do want to see the tournament take off where we have different teams forming and teams can play nations, and that's going to be their nation. But we're not to that point yet, but that's the goal. So anyways, we're getting started off, and the Cherokee Cav is going right after the Great Britain Light Dragoons here. So we'll see how that fares for the Cherokee as they smash into him with a couple of Chief's bodyguards and some of their mounted gunners, which I believe that is the fire keep whatever. I can't remember the Cherokee. I know it's some kind of fire stick guys or whatever. I guess it's the boomstick kind of guys. Anyways, they are carrying on with their cav against these light dragoons, and they're taking it to them. They're getting overwhelmed here, are these light dragoons, and looks like the green jackets are next up on the menu as Great Britain's pushed up a little bit too far, and the Plains Nations are going to be sending their tribesmen forward to try and give some infantry support against these green jackets. You can see them here in the woodland. Now, the one thing about this map is it is got kind of stripes of woodland, and most of the hill is in the center of the battlefield. So, and there's like little wood stacks and all kinds of obstacles. So that's what makes this map interesting. And there's that woodland, as you can see the blood warriors of the Plains Nations going at it against these Hessian grenadiers coming out of the woodland. Surprise attack. It's almost like Last of the Mohicans here. Can't even speak. I'm so excited. So anyways, they're getting after these poor old Hessians as they start trying to run away, and we're going to see more blood warriors coming in as they look to smash them down. Now, it looks like this British player over here on the right flank of the natives has brought a massive amount of grenadiers. Now, that is going to pose a big-time problem for the Plains Nations. There's only one player playing as Plains Nations, the rest of them playing as the Cherokee. So, there you go. People like their Cherokee, apparently, with the bows. The Cherokee are a pretty good nation. They're able to go stealth with their Muskegee bowmen, and their Atacapa warriors can walk hidden, whereas the Plains Nations are one of the other nations where none of their men can go hidden while walking except for their musket men. As you can see here, man, the blood warriors going after it. They're looking for blood versus these British grenadiers, and it looks like they're getting some of it too. They're overwhelming the British, but there is a couple of the Plains Nations units that are going to rout. once again, these British Grenadiers, they do stand up quite extremely well in melee defense. So they are going to pose a massive problem for the Plains nations here. The British Grenadiers are one of the better in melee defense. So there you go with that bit of information, as the Plains nations now are bringing some of their elite warriors to the fray, and they're going to chunk some tomahawks at these Grenadiers from a slight distance. You have to get in close, but 45 range, they do chunk them tomahawks quite nicely with good accuracy, so they can cause quite a bit of damage. And it looks like the rest of the battlefield is pretty quiet still. There's some shots being fired by the Green Jackets there in the center, but over here on this part of the battlefield, as you can see, it's a wide battlefield. The Cherokee are now starting to get into the British over here. As you can see, the arrows flying in. That would be the Cherokee bowmen, which are the Muskegee. Really good unit. And the ATK taking them on from the front. So you can see those bow shots coming in here, whittling down these British. Now, the British Light Dragoons are behind. They're going to provide quite a bit of support. If there's one thing that's the nemesis for the Native Americans, it is the Light Dragoons. That mobility and the quick shock force that the Light Dragoons provide can be quite devastating to the Native Americans while they're tied up in melee. So that is a problem for them, as they got this British unit in square, and they're going to be able to shoot bows into that square while the ATK hacks them down, which is quite effective method of dealing with these British units. The Plains nations don't really have that advantage. I think of the native nations, if you play them in multiplayer, you'll find that the easiest nations to play as will be the Huron and the Cherokee, as the Cherokee run their cab through some stakes here. There's an inside joke to that, and I'll let you know in the comments if you want to know that inside joke. Just hit me up in the comments below, and I'll let you know that inside joke on that. Alright, so here we go. The rest of the battle coming in. Looks like still the center of the battlefield is pretty quiet, as a lot of the mess is happening on the flanks. But now on this center left of the British, or the center right if you're the natives, is getting heated up. The flank is still pretty stable. The Plains nations did pull out of melee. They did rout off several of the Grenadiers. There still is 3 Grenadiers left of all those massive amounts of Grenadiers. And you can see here there's going to be more British lines and guards coming up, and some 1st New York also coming up. As you can see, the Green Jackets are in melee with the big massive amount of Plains Nations warriors. So that's kind of what's going on there. As you can see, the Muskegee bowmen here getting into it with the British. Got the New York running away here, another unit of New York, so that's the middle players, New York. And here line infantry for the Great Britain is trying to hold off all these bowmen in the woods. That's not going to be an advantage for the poor old British line at all, as those bows are going to rip through them in the woods here. So they should start kiting out of that situation pretty quick. As you can see, more of the bowmen here against the leftovers of this force here. They're getting chopped down pretty good. Don't mess with the bow. Who said bows aren't effective? They were crazy, man. They were crazy. I tell you, man, the Cherokee, those bowmen are pretty darn good. It's just too bad there's only 90 of them per unit. As you can see over here on the left flank of the natives, the British have been pretty much routed off the field. Here goes the last one. It is about toast. And now there is going to be a scruff to take the center of the battlefield. And the Cherokee Cav is trying to take out the remnants of the British riflemen, the Green Jackets. Here comes some more of the Cherokee bowmen. Gonna mop up these grenadiers here. So they're gonna have the same problem the other flank did. Grenadiers are extremely good in melee, especially the British grenadiers. There's another grenadier there. As you can see, they're routing off the ATK warrior, which is a really good unit. So that just goes to show you, as we got another Hessian grenadier here, shooting at the ATK coming forward. And ooh, that one got one right in the face, didn't he? I think he had a bloody nose. Well, he got that one back, didn't he? All right, so that's what happens when you got the ATK on you. All right, so the center of the battlefield. This part of the center is not really too heated at the moment. It's a lot of bows on British line, and it looks like these British line are taking some pretty decent damage. Some of them not so much. We got the Plains Nations, got some cav assist going on, but they're going to have to pull out of this fight. They are not faring well here, as their men are starting to get tired of all the melee, and the British are in square. That's going to favor the British, especially with all the natives being so worn down with all the melee. So you can see the fight here in the nice Siberian woods. As you can see, the Plains Nations looking to pull out of that fight, going to regroup with the Cherokee, where there's quite a bit more reinforcements there, but there's also a lot of British forces there opposing them. But this side of the battlefield is pretty much won over here, so the British are pretty much routed off, but that doesn't mean that the battle is over by any means. As you can see here, the good old fire, I can't remember what they're called. I know it's like fire, oh god, I can't remember. I want to say boomstick guys now, after saying it earlier. You can see they got the light dragoons tied up here, and here come the Plains Nations with their Comanches coming over from the flank, and we'll see if they can help just knock out the remnants of these light dragoons. The light dragoons holding this flank is a pretty formidable force. You know, they have 60 men per unit, and they're very good, but in melee they don't fight as well. So here come in the Comanches. They got a light dragoon here. Let's just see if they get them. It looks like they are going to get a shot in on the wrong light dragoon. So the one that was running versus the one that was directly in front of him. How you like that? Now here comes in another Comanche. We'll see if he gets anything. Yes, he is going to probably get a shot. I don't know why he's not shooting. They're a little hesitant these days. The other Comanches are getting shots in here and there. Alright, so that's that. Looks like the British are on the move. They are running. They are running, sir. So the British have been, you see quite a bit of their forces are routed out. And it looks like the Plains are going to go ahead and charge the back of those two grenadiers holding the flank on there, and that's going to put it into that flank. So now the center of the battlefield is going to become the contested part, and you can see that the British are outnumbered here by a good fair, and there's the Comanche wrapping up the grenadiers, and you got some of the Cherokee coming in as well, and they're going to surround this light dragoon, putting it into him, taking some shots from the Comanches point blank. Yep, they're surrounded, and there he goes. All right, so this is pretty much in favor of the natives, although the left flank over here of the British is in very good shape. As you can see, there is a lot of them. They are whittled down quite a bit, but they are definitely in very good shape on the left. As you can see, it's just a little bit of Plains Nations left and a little bit of Cherokee left as well. But as we speed this up, you can see the Plains Nations got these sweet looking wolf hat wearing, what is it, the Cheyenne dog soldiers. I guess when you wear a wolf's head, you can call yourself a dog soldier. Got little, looks like their legs are little ears on the side. Kind of funny, even though they got ears on the top of the wolf's head. If you see what I'm saying, those little wolf legs drooping down on their shoulders kind of looks like droopy bulldog ears or something, or hound dog ears. Again, getting shots. These guys are really good though. They've got 50% accuracy and a really strong reload. You do have to dismount them to get shots, but they are quite an effective unit. They volley all together just like a light dragoon would. Like I said, the only difference is you do have to dismount them. So the two of them are taking on one British line infantry. They have inflicted a little bit of damage on them. And now two of the Comanches are coming up on the flank, and also we got a Cherokee ATK coming in to hack them down. So this British line, as you can see, they're getting shot up all over the place. They're pretty beat up, and they're gonna hit the road. They're gonna hit the road, Jack. They're surrounded. All right, so here we are. Cherokee are pretty weak in here. There is actually not as many British as I was thinking over here. So it looks like this is coming to an end. There's not much of the British left. It's just this little grouping here. And all the natives are going to be swarming to this area to take them out. All right, so that's going to put an end to the British here, as they're going to take a first loss of the season. Don't worry, there's quite a bit more games. They can rebound from this. But the Cherokee and the Plains nations are going to pull out their first victory of the season, and they're gonna wrap it off in some nice fashion, getting some charges in here, taking down the remnants of them. Look at them, they're huddled together like it's the last stand. Custer is the only thing they're missing. Okay, so what does it all mean being 0-1 for the British? Well, it could mean some problems, but once again, it is all the end record that matters. So taking one loss does not mean you're not going to make it to the end to become the champion. It just means that you've taken one loss. You do get to face off against the Plains nations and the Cherokee one more time, and this time it'll be on a battlefield more suited to the British, as the British would be the home team in the next battle. As you can see, more of the British units routing off there, one of the Plains. But on the next battle, the British will pick the battlefield and pick something more suitable, something with less trees where they can use their ranged weapons a little more effective against the natives. I would think, in my mind, if I was the British, I'd want to go on the grassy flats. That's a map that would definitely be a big advantage of the British versus the natives. So that will definitely turn things. They can even up their record versus this team. But who knows? Maybe the Plains and the Cherokee can sweep them and take out and go 2-0 against the British. But we'll have to wait for later in the season to check that out. Anyways, we're finishing up this third battle of week 1 of our nation versus nation tournament. I hope you are enjoying it. There's definitely some interesting fights. As we get deeper into the season, there will be definitely more interesting things to happen, and things will get tighter as things look more clear as far as who will make the playoffs to go on to see who will be the end champion of this league. Yep, the last of the British are almost done here. Most of these units are pretty beat up for them, so they're not going to have much of a shot of making it. They're pretty spread out too. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this battle. I did enjoy covering it, and it was a lot of fun participating in it with all the people that did join along. Good job to all the people that did participate in this battle. It was a nice, hard-fought battle. It was very close, a lot closer than it seems right here. It's just the British rout off because they've lost their general, and being a bit surrounded doesn't help the matter out. So you can see there's quite a bit of Cherokee left back there, though, a whole lot. So there we go. But it was a really good effort by the British. It wasn't a map that was very favorable for them, but you can see they did get still quite a bit of kills off of their men. And yeah, so there we go. So there is week 1. We got more matches coming up on Thursday. I hope you join us for that. Thank you guys once again. We will see you later.